Hello Libra, welcome to your fall review. If you'd like to catch up on your September overview, I did that in the Sunday Shuffle a couple of weeks ago. So if you missed it, go to my playlist, check out the Sunday Shuffle, find Libra September 2023. There you go. Because today we're going to devote our reading to fall, specifically the months of October, November, December. Very excited. I love the fall. It's my favorite time of year where I tend to make changes myself. Within my household, outside my household, it's very inspiring, and that's what I want to bring to today's reading. Let's talk about it. The board I'm using for you and all 12 signs for the fall review, starting with the world. New season, the ideas, new opportunities, new beginnings. Are we allowing them to come through? Are we achieving those for ourselves? Are we just trying to concern ourselves with what's working and keeping that going? Are we allowing things to exit? Are we choosing that? Is it happening? Regardless, we want to take a look at the world. What stays, what goes, and what might be new coming towards us, The background energy to the next several months. The sun and the moon. Now, if you are familiar with my old 3-month reviews, I did the Tower and Judgment, and I tried to keep it as comprehensive as possible. And then I decided, let's do away with all that. Let's just concentrate on our core energies. The sun and the moon, the yin and the yang. The divinity within us, around us, influencing us, with us at all times. The sun. Most people understand what their sun is, or at least they have a strong idea or impression of it. This is what makes me happy. This is what makes me thrive and feel warm. I can say it to be true. I'm trying to earn it, achieve it. I'm on the pathway, or I already have it. Awesome for me. Perhaps my idea of the sun and the moon is changing and evolving, like I saw with Geminis, as they redefine their sun, as they themselves changed. Point is that we typically know about this one. It tends to be at the forefront. Then there's the stuff in the back burner, the moon. They are both equal. It is a 50-50 distribution. 50% typically it's with us. This also with us, but not as aware of it. It behooves us to know both because they influence us in our day-to-day. So we're going to see how these background energies influence us in the month of October. 10, the Wheel of Fortune. November 11, Justice, not to be confused with your season, Libra season, but with the actual month of November or 11. 12, December, the Hanged Man or Perspective. All right, we're going to take a look at that, but first we're going to start with some opening oracles. Show me, Libra, please, for fall. Show me Libra in the fall, show me Libra in the fall, show me Libra in the fall. The temperatures are just starting to crack just a little bit here in Texas. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh. To go outside first thing at like 7 in the morning and it's not 90 degrees. I'm so excited. Because let me tell you, by 4 or 5 o'clock, it's 105. So the fact that going out in the morning and it's not automatically 90, oh boy, I'm so excited. The first indications of fall. What's going on, please? What's going on, please, for Libra? Show me that. Oh my. Oh, look at that. Very unique. How unique. Do you know, come to think of it, I'm not entirely certain I've seen either of these. Well, maybe I have done. You know my memory, honey. I tend to wipe impressions as soon as, so I can carry on to the next one with fresh energy. But this is interesting. You've got a great combination here. 23, the owl, and number 33, the unicorn. So the owl. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. Much to be learned. So owl typically represents wisdom. Some of you are learning things openly, actively, substantially too. It's not micro knowledge, it's macro knowledge. In an in-depth scale, in an in-depth way, some of you might have gone back to school, or perhaps you are knee-deep in your studies. Others of you, you're taking on very intense spiritual lessons and having very intense conversations around your spiritual lessons, insight, philosophy, existentialism, stuff that impacts our way or mode of operation, life as we perceive it, okay? Not being casual and not being passive, but really asking yourself very intense questions about this time. And then unicorn. Success, hope, freedom, healing, and magic are all available to you if you just believe. So yeah, those two are absolutely working together. As we ask ourselves questions, we learn to live more and more in the magical or the spiritual realm, trusting the universe that we are being guided accordingly. And that's a rare energy depicted by the unicorn. It's no easy thing to just trust the universe, to trust ourselves, our best selves, our most authentic selves, to believe in magic. It's like that old wisdom. The more I learn, the less I know, and accept that I don't know everything, and that's probably a good thing. You ever been in that weird sort of juxtaposition of I know a lot, but I swear the more I learn, the less I feel like I know? You ever notice the most ignorant people in the world are the ones who insist they know, and they have no rational logic or reasoning behind it, but they just insist. They tend to be the most ignorant. The wisest say, I thought I was smart. I thought I knew it was up, but turns out, maybe I don't. And this is where we have that unicorn concept. We have to trust and be vulnerable, and it's a magical thing. It's a rare creature to just be open to the guidance that we are afforded, to just trust the universal energy that flows, and for us to go with it and not against it. And when you understand more about that, it's so hard to do. It's such a hard goal to achieve. The more likely you are to believe that maybe magic is real, that spiritual connectivity is real, and that we are being guided in our own way. And we lean more into that knowledge, the more comfortable we get with it. It's interesting how that works. Okay. What else here, please? This is the Spellcaster's Oracle. I've had it forever. Poor thing is completely worn out. I should really replace this. What's going on, please? What else? Okay, you got it. I knew I was going to see that for you. I can't call it because I didn't say it, but I knew that was going to drop. Commitment. Fertility. Congratulations for some of you. Congratulations to some of you. Some of you, it is the direct translation that some of you are in commitments, and well, congratulations might be in order. Okay. Others of you, this is the promise outside of the actual direct translation of potentially being pregnant. Again, congratulations. The fertility, however, in the metaphor next to commitment, says that something here is growing and can produce long-term commitment. Okay. The grounds of your life are fertile for something committing and loving and spiritual and divine. Okay. That's a lot of energy here today. That's beautiful. Really allowing yourself to go with that particular flow, that it's there for you, not to question it, not to second guess yourself. Okay, which of course is a form of empowerment, you betcha. But if that's your goal, hopefully that's coming through for you. And others of you are already living it. Yeah. So again, congratulations in order if you found yourself by way of a precious gift, you know. And for others of you, yeah, commitment is, well, it's being sown. There's a promise here of fertility. Okay. All right. What's going on? It's so funny because we have the Venus energy here as well as the Hierophant energy here. Yeah, the Empress, of course, being one of your power cards, and you actually share that with Taurus. You're both ruled by Venus, so some of you might have some very complex Taurus Libra combinations in your chart, because that's fairly concentrated, but that's for some of you, not all of you. Anyway, I can go on and on and on about layering symbolism, meanings. It just goes on and on and on. It's not easy for me to know when to stop. I try to give people as much as I think they need to know. All right, let's look at that world, please. New opportunities, new beginnings, fertility, abundance, commitment, believing in magic, learning, education. The more you know, it feels like the less you know. But that also, again, puts us in the position of understanding we don't need to know everything. But we do need to know ourselves. Okay? We do need to know ourselves. All right? What's going on, please? Show me that world. For Libra, show me the world, please. For Libra, show me the world, please. For Libra. And some of you, even if it's not fertility as in pregnancy, again, just because I know that can put people off. It's like, I'm not, no. Again, convert that to the Empress energy. Okay. The idea of commitment to self-empowerment, going places, or because I'm a high-value person, I understand my worth and value, I wish to commit to someone of like-minded energy, like-minded self, and like-minded ability. Okay? All right. Come on now. Let's see. The Hermit, Three of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords. Oh, look at you. You're making a decision to heal with something. A constructive effort. Three of Pentacles could be a friendship. The Three of Pentacles is the starting out structure, okay? For those of you who are very new to tarot or you've never actually heard the proper interpretation of the Three of Pentacles, it's bare minimum cooperation between you and someone else. Constructive effort that's realistic in the 3D world. So I often describe it as a springboard. You start here, see what happens. So the idea is that you, right here, Queen of Swords, you're like, I authorize this. And so you are. You are authorizing a constructive effort that's healing in nature with somebody else. Now, this could be you with a constructive cooperative effort with somebody literally in business, in which case, congratulations, that in and of itself is a birth. So again, you guys, you have to get flexible with the metaphor. It could be the birth of a new gig for two people here. And it could be working with Virgo, but I see this as a coming together concept for sure. It's some sort of constructive effort, either in friendship, business, or somewhere in between for some of you. The idea is that it benefits you both. Otherwise, neither one of you would be discussing it. So when that happens, I don't know, but it's looking like we're opening up towards this in the fall. So again, that could be anywhere between September whilst we are still in Virgo season. In other words, it's retroactive. It's happening now, and it's going to carry you into the fall, which is what I'm actually leaning towards. So it's looking like we're doing something with somebody, and it looks constructive. And it looks healing and restorative for you both. So again, this could be personal friendship or personal friendship as it ties with business. Okay, and like I said, for some of you, it might be somewhere in between. Perhaps you're starting a business with a friend. I don't know. But it's definitely the birth of something. And it could be prosperous for you both, even if it's just friendship or has to do with literal coin. The idea of committing to this for you both benefits you both. You see what I'm saying? You both benefit. You're both fertile from it. In other words, you both produce. You both get something out of it. So let's see if we can narrow that down just a wee bit. I'm curious if this is business, pleasure, or somewhere in between. I can't tell. Because friendship would still denote personal. So in which case, if you perhaps you are re-engaging with a friendship for which you parted ways with, you haven't spoken to in forever, but the idea is, this is great. This is great. I love that you and I we're getting back in touch. We're getting reacquainted. Here's what I've learned. Here's what you've learned. Here's what etc. Who knows, man? Who knows? It could be brand new. We'll see. Let's take a look-see. Anything else here, please? The Wheel of Fortune, time having passed, Six of Swords, the Sun. Okay. Time has passed and you have moved on from something. And it could have been this energy, whatever it is. Perhaps we are rediscovering it with the Sun here. We're drifting back in a particular direction that says, I feel warm to this. Okay, I'm open to it. In other words, it would make me happy to do this with you. Time has passed. We both learned some things. We both healed some things, or perhaps we're both wiser for wear, or perhaps you two are just catching up. Because again, that Six of Swords suggests there's a possibility you two drifted apart, and that was some time ago with the Wheel of Fortune. And we're kind of drifting back in this direction, and as we continue to do so, it feels good for you both. So again, you're both benefiting from this. You're both getting constructive effort out of it. Well, let's jump on over to that Sun, since you say this is part of the thing that makes you feel good, that you like this, and this is a good thing for you. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's see that Sun, please. Let's see that Sun. Show me that Sun, please. Show me that Sun, please, for Libra. Show me that Sun, please. Show me the Sun, please, for Libra. Show me that Sun, please, for Libra. Oh, the devil. Everybody's getting the devil. It's starting to irritate me. It's really irritating me. He keeps popping up. And I promise you, I shuffle these cards many, many times in between the readings, never mind what you see. It's really starting to irritate me how much that guy is just wreaking havoc. He keeps interceding with stuff. And that's what he does. The devil's not doing his job unless he's tampering in somebody's life. I swear to God. We all have a devil. We all have a God. Now, if you're offended by that, I don't know what to tell you. I believe what I believe, and you believe what you believe. I understand to be true, heaven and hell exist within us already. It's not about what happens after death. It's already here. And which one you live in largely determines on your perspective and point of view. The more negative you are in real life, the more likely you have a devil attached to you full time. Nobody wants to hear that, and that's why we have those people have negative dispositions. Because they don't want to see it, they don't want to deal with it. They magically want happiness to fall in line for them instead of actually working. Okay. So yeah, heaven and hell are pre-existing constructs that already exist. If you're alive, they already exist. We're all going to live in hell a little bit. We're all going to live in heaven a little bit. We touch foot in both. Because to be alive is to be both black and white, yin and yang, rose and thorn, sunrise, sunset. So am I terribly surprised to see the devil? No. It just irritates me how much he's been affecting everybody lately because he keeps popping up under everybody's sun. So there is an attachment here with that Knights of Wands, passion, energy, directness, manifestation, the sun. You know, it feels like we were manifesting at some point from a bad place in us. There's a lot of energy here and attached to what might have been very strong passion and or enthusiasm that perhaps took us to a bad place. And we were manifesting this. I don't know that you still are. Okay? I just don't like that the devil is otherwise attached to your enthusiasm. Let's see if that's shifted. Can I get more on this, please? Can I get more on this, please? Because here I'm seeing a simple declaration of this connection's good, and I think we both get something out of it, and that makes you happy. And considering that there's a leave-off energy here with the Wheel of Fortune, Six of Swords, and the Sun, the idea of this construct has shifted and changed into a form of happiness that seems to be more grounded in reality, as opposed to any sort of pre-existing passions that might have felt very intense at the time with the devil attached to it, unrealistic, more intensity than there was depth, perhaps. What is this, please? Okay. Blocked, confusion, not knowing what to do. Let's try that again. Ten of Pentacles, the Lovers, Ten of Swords. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was an intense connection. At some point it caused pain, and at some point it hurt quite a bit. Nevertheless, the foundation of what you had continued on. That didn't seem to be in dispute. But perhaps we really felt that this strong connection was part of our foundation, and maybe even understood that to be true at some point. But for some reason it didn't cross the threshold. Okay. The intensity of this connection, it didn't carry over into the 3D very well. I see the devil and I see the Lovers. You know, typically in my experience, as long as I've been doing this, it almost always 100% says unrequited. Typically two people, as strong as that connection might be, passionate as it may have been, intense as it may have been, it's no less subject to human flaw. In fact, it's more subject to human flaw for those very reasons. It's not like anyone else we meet. It's not supposed to be. Otherwise, it won't have a lasting impact. So, things being that intense, when it ends, it feels that much more grievous. The pain feels that much more amplified. Again, if it was like any other connection, it wouldn't have worked its magic on you. And there's a separation here, I suppose, of church and state in terms of spiritual connectivity versus reality. And those two weren't meeting very well. And this might have been a case, honey, where we were confusing the intensity for intimacy. And the intimacy of a real viable, lasting connection that had love in it and a place to go and a place to grow wasn't there. But at the time, perhaps we felt it was because the connection was so strong. But again, it remained unrequited. So that means we weren't on the same pace. They weren't in the same pace, for sure, or the same page or the same place with our lover. You felt certain things at certain times. They felt certain things at certain times. But the reality wouldn't seem to match up. Your foundation, they're saying, was singular in and of its own right. It was quite strong. And your lover didn't seem to cross the threshold into your reality, but they existed. And it was painful. It was a painful experience. And we felt the warmth of it in there somewhere in the sun, but it would not prove itself fruitful or reliable or consistent. Like I said, it was more intensity than it was reality. And now we're reapproaching a sun, but from a much more leveled out characteristics of two people, or regular, normal people. So it seems whatever here, you have a foundation attached to you. I'm sure that they do too. You both have reality principles attached to you. But for some reason, you two weren't realistic characters in each other's lives. But it felt like you were supposed to be. And when the Lovers isn't expressed the way it's supposed to, it's going to feel toxic. It's going to feel weird. It's going to feel super intense. And the more that it's not requited, the more it's going to feel really weird. It's not coming together the way it was intended. But we keep it going as long as we can. You know? My point is, this person who we might have confused as part of our foundation, as part of our world, it wasn't without justification, but they're also saying they were completely separate from it. They weren't integrated. And there is a possibility here for real-world integration, but at a much more achievable level between people who are trying to be real friends and kind of set the intensity aside. It doesn't seem to be so much of a problem now. It's like I see you as a real person and you see me as a real person instead of the super twisted, I don't know if it was twisted, but it felt intensely twisted, that we might connect heavily, energetically, spiritually, but we can't seem to cross each other's thresholds in reality. And I think you two are trying to meet more in a reality-based perspective as friends. Friends, real friends. With a conversation between two adults that suggests exactly that. This is constructive. You and I can both benefit from this. We can both work on things reasonably as adults. I have a life, I have thoughts, I have feelings. I'm a real human being, so are you. You know, I've learned a lot. Time has passed. And the idea of working together on very simple, very simplistic elements makes you feel warm about this connection in a way that you previously couldn't. And while there is pain here, this person's still part of your sun, and you're still part of their sun. It's just, I think you two are finding healthier ways to express your sun. I'm very happy to report that. Your foundation's still intact. They're just saying they were never really part of it, even though it felt like perhaps they were meant to be there, but they weren't. You can have a foundation solid as hell, and you might really think that person's part of it, but were they really? We can't conflate intensity with reality, because I feel so intensely about someone, therefore they must be in my life in some way. Easy to do that. Very easy to do that. You know? And it's a big lesson in and of itself. A lot of people have done it, realistically speaking. Confused intensity, excuse me, my lisp is kicking in today. Confusing intensity for intimacy. It happens pretty easily. But here's the thing. Unlike two people who are forcing to make something work because it's temporarily exciting, you two actually do have a very depth connection. Very spiritually in-depth connection. It wasn't some fling that you two kept trying to keep going. Was the passion there? Uh-huh. But even then, that wasn't matching up. However, the connectivity was way off the charts. But it wasn't lining up at the same place at the same time. That's all the Devils and the Lovers is this. It's constantly like this. You know, people who are just throwing some passion around. Here's a Page of Wands. Here's a Knight of Wands. When it goes like this, it's kind of like, see ya, see ya. We got out of that, whatever we needed to get out of that. But two people who keep trying to line up this over and over again. The drive, the ambition, to, you know there's something else going on in there. But it won't connect. So we're like, they must be in our life for a reason, right? They are. It's just not for the way we probably convinced ourselves. I guess my point is, honey, they're still part of your sun. It's just you two are actually seeing each other more as people. instead of this intense conflict. I like the solidness of reality here for you both, as opposed to this high level, high stakes, tension, unachievable heights, unsustainable heights of intensity. And here we have very achievable, constructive effort. Here's my sane self. Here's your sane self. Can we just admit that we both screwed up, or we don't know shit, and we'll just take it from there as friends? You know, because they're still part of the sun. It's just we're drifting back to it, but in a very different way. And time passed. Time has passed. I don't know how much time, but it's looking like we have cooperation efforts coming up relatively soon. Somewhere between Virgo season and your season, I believe. Okay, sorry, I spent time on that. I really felt compelled to. I needed to, because that's a hell of a transition. And I'm not saying a completely smooth bridge. I can tell that there was likely breakage, and it might have been messy. I don't really care. I don't want to go into the past. I started eliminating that more and more. And I'll tell you why. Because people will show me the past anyway. They will, because they're not over it. So what's the point? I'll just keep saying the same thing over and over. So might as well eliminate it. People can and will show me their grievances in order to understand. And so there's just no point in going further into the past, because it's going to come up. it's going to come up. All right, the moon, boo-boo. The Emperor, the Ace of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. That's interesting. That is interesting. That is interesting. That is interesting, because that is so interesting. That's not you, it's them. And I'm not big on that, because I don't like saying it's them or they, especially when we're talking about you, the collective. I'm not really into that. But no, under the moon and the running background scenes, I just don't feel like that's you. I don't feel like the Emperor. It's no disrespect, honey. You already opened up with the Empress. I just don't feel like that Emperor is you. Somebody here behind the scenes energy that you are not aware of, not entirely, has been wanting to reconnect for a while, and I just don't think you see it yet. It's coming forward, and so I know it's legit with the Ace of Pentacles, and somebody in their sense of self-empowerment wants to come forward to offer this, to reunite or reconnect. It's there, and it's very solid. It's just not forward yet. You haven't seen it yet. I don't think you've seen it yet. It might come in the form of an offer to get together, to celebrate, to connect, congratulations, gift, you name it. I just don't think it's you. I don't feel like it's you. I really don't. I don't. I would tell you, I have no problem pinning the tail on the donkey. Honey, why are you hiding that? That's what you want to do. Go do it. I would have, you know me, or you should know me by now. You ought to. If you've been around the channel long enough, you know I have no problem pinning the tail on that donkey. Stop acting like you don't want to reconnect. You do. Go do it. Go take care of business. And you don't take that Three of Cups, honey. It's the Three of Cups. I'm seeing that as extension, as an offer to cooperate. That's what that is. Here's the offer to get together, to cooperate. It's just, it hasn't come forward yet. It's a matter of time. We're opening up towards this, and I see it drifting back over time. You see how the pieces are fitting? Okay. All right, this is all background energy. Goodness me, I gotta get to your months. Is there anything else, please, under the moon? Death, Queen of Swords. That's what you know. That's what you know. There you are. Where is the Queen of Swords? I saw you. Oh, here's you under your moon. You thought, this is why you don't see it coming. I'm sorry, honey. There's a reason I do what I do. Okay. You can call me arrogant. That's fine. I know who I am. It don't bother me anymore. I've accepted it. Okay, there's a reason I do what I do. Okay, I told you it wasn't you. Here you are. As far as you know, you don't know any of this. You don't know. It's not. This is background energy, honey. The moon. Sometimes it's background stuff. In other words, you hasn't been revealed to you yet. Because as far as you know, that particular hope and dream is dead. You're probably the one who killed it. Well, no, that's not true. This connection right here, the way I'm seeing it, it's like a snake eating itself. It wouldn't resolve, right? And a snake that eats itself can't really transform. It was just a perpetuating problem over here. So as far as I can tell, let's then say you're the one who are responsible for breaking up that useless cycle. You put a stop to it. Okay, so you could transform yourself, but as far as you were concerned, that particular vision, hope, or dream, desire was dead. Okay, and you're the one, as far as I can tell, you used your sword to interfere and break that circuit up. So this has been running around in the background scenes. This person, I believe, has been building up into this energy, and I say good to them because it's self-empowerment regardless. It's building up to it with the moon. Not everything can be immediately forward, and humans get so irritated. Well, how come it wasn't here yesterday? Because it wasn't ready yesterday. That's why, honey. Sometimes things take time. Time has to pass for some people to understand if drifting away was a good idea or if drifting back is meant for them. Sometimes time is needed, and I'm seeing time was needed here. And it still hasn't completely come forward. I'm seeing it on the verge, the precipice. And in tarot, a month or two is nothing. This is why this completely makes sense to me. The moon, this is running in the background, is leading up to this moment of connectivity where I see cooperation. You have no clue because as far as you're concerned, it died. There was no point in dreaming and hoping for this, whichever this is. And I'm still not saying you two are going to, if you connect, you're going to run out and get married. That's not what I'm saying. So don't conflate the two. Control that. That's what got us into trouble in the first place, right? And I'm not giving you a hard time. I know what this is like. You feel something so intensely, it goes all the way out there. And you can't tell where the hell it's supposed to land. And sometimes you have to break because you don't know how things are meant to be or where they're supposed to play out. So allow it. Allow. That's what I'm talking about. We got to allow that energy to come through and just admit, I know a lot, but I don't know everything, boo-boo. I don't. And I'm big enough as a developed human being or a decently developed human being to admit I don't know everything. And if stuff is meant to come through, then it will come through on its own damn time. With the universe's help, with somebody else's decision making, with my own decision making, all we can do is the best for ourselves in that moment, in that time. And then when things come through, it might be a mystery. I don't know why this is happening now. Why it didn't happen yesterday? I couldn't tell you why it didn't happen yesterday, honey. But I just know it's going to happen today or tomorrow or in a month from now. It is what it is. And that's what the unicorn is. And that's why it's so rare for people to just sit back. And it's like, as far as I know, I'm no longer involved in this. All I can do is learn from this as to the best that I can and maybe admit that I don't know everything because we don't. And allow for time. All I can hope for me is to heal myself and learn from it what I can, but no expectations, anything else from this point forward. I agree. And that's what allowing for the divine, the spiritual intervention from magic comes through. Okay. Let's take a look at October, shall we? No. What I'm saying here, getting back to the point, no, I'm not saying you're going to get married tomorrow. What I'm saying is that you two are cooperating or wanting to cooperate bare minimum at the friendship level. I'm not going to say it's all roses. That's so funny. I heard it's one of the fire signs, I think, Bon Jovi's Bed of Roses, and I just, having said that, it re-triggered that memory. I don't know where the hell that was coming from. It's so sentimental. It's very intimate. I understand that. This is the kind of love and affection I would like to show for you emotionally as well as physically. It's very beautiful. It's just, I'm not like a Jovi fanatic. I couldn't tell you. I'm not overly familiar. It's just, it's weird how that one's been kind of running on a background for me. That's interesting. Show me that October, please, for Libra. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's all roses, but if you two want friendship, then you'll make it happen. Oh, I'll see. There it is. Okay. The Fool, Eight of Wands, Death. Let me take a look at that. Some of you might have some very strong Scorpio in your chart. That would explain that acceptance, but not easy acceptance, but acceptance. Is this transformation, or are we not? No, that's not correct. What is this? Let me see more on this. There's the Fool opening up. Communication, taking a risk. Why is Death here then? Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. Very honest communication. No more self-deceptive conversations. That's an intense conversation, honey. I don't know if you can handle it. Somebody's trying very hard to not speak half-truths. This is a skill somebody had to learn. They want to talk. They want to open up. They want to blast that honesty open. Again, the Fool has no agenda. We have to remember this about the Fool. That's why he's called the Fool. Either what he's doing can reward him or kill him. He doesn't have an agenda. Either way. So he's like, call me the Fool if you want, but this is what I got to do. So that's why I respect the Fool. I don't degrade him. I respect him for that. Without an agenda. He does what his spirit says he must do. I respect that. It's hard to walk out your front door without an agenda. Try it. You'll know what I'm talking about. So without an agenda, somebody's really trying to open up to honest communication, which tells me by default somebody here was not honest with their communication. They struggled with it relentlessly. It's under the moon. So that could be either one of you, as I saw both of you under the same moon. Very honest communication. They're struggling. Somebody's struggling. It's either you or them. Whoever struggled with honest communication regarding feelings and thoughts, they're doing their best to transform that and speak more from the heart about connectivity here. It's under the guise of cooperative learning and cooperative communication. So, back here. I asked specifically, why is death here? Is somebody not opening up after they just agreed to try to reconnect specifically? Nope, it's not that at all. It's that Three of Cups, the offer to reunite. I saw under the moon here. There's also the moon and the Five of Swords with death. I clarified death. The fear to communicate openly and effectively without using lies, without using white lies, without doing self-sabotage tendencies. This is really hard for someone to be so honest about their moon energy and their real thoughts and feelings. So they're struggling to transform it or kill the negative thoughts while they're speaking. Okay, there's struggle. It's a real struggle, but I respect it. That means somebody is used to always kind of speaking a coded language, or they kind of consciously edit or withdraw their full thoughts. They're doing their best not to do that. Default to old habits. Again, it's either you or them. Like I said, you were both under the moon. Perhaps it's a little bit of you both. Especially if you two could never get in alignment. Makes sense. Okay. Is there anything else, please? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy. I'm loving this. I love that you are being more open to the divine. And it's looking like we have something here that is growing and is prosperous for you both in terms of connectivity and Taurus there. A little bit of Taurus. Like I said, you might have some heavy Taurus aspects in your chart. Could be connecting to one. Let's see November, please. Let's say November. But I would like to see more. It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love this, but I'd like to see other things that you're doing. I get accused, and I understand. I don't blame people of concentrating on love, honey. It's the fucking cards. I was actually, when we put down, I was like, ooh, we're going to see some business stuff. Well... Yay! Yay! You too! Yay! Look at that. And I tell you, you could be dealing with... I have seen consistently Taurus and Scorpio, haven't I? So you might have, again, very strong aspects in your chart and connecting to either one. But here we have two kings, heads of state, both reasonable, rational, fully developed people who are in much better grips with themselves. So here's that offer to cooperate. It's doing quite well for you both. You're slowly, surely headed in a particular direction. It has its own particular pace, and you both seem to be comfortable with it, and that's all I care about. What it looks like, I don't know, but your fullest selves, the both of you, in terms of your fullest selves, okay, are doing well in terms of communicating and keeping pace with each other. In other words, you're trying to stay here instead of going like this. Here we go. This is when we take all that intensity out, okay? The devil, the passion, the love, we take all that out and you realize that you two, again, are both humans and you both have flaws and you're both reasonable, rational people. This is what you're left with. And what you're left with is good. It's the best of who you are. It's like both of you agreed to calm the hell down. It's like you both agreed to calm the hell down. I don't know how else to explain it. And just be more yourself. It's like, I have flaws, you have flaws. You know, you've got a funny face and I got acne. See? It's kind of like that. Instead of projecting all this high energy and all this stress that comes with it it's like I lisp and you slurp. It's it's kind of like that. I'm a mess in my way and so are you, and our messes are both beautiful. It's great. We've taken out so much of it. It's like we knocked the stuffing out of this impossible. I don't know, but the energy was way too high and way too off, and I feel like you two are getting more in alignment as people. Okay, so I like this. We're going with the flow, and something is building here, and I like this. Okay, I do like it. I do. I like this. I do. I gotta take the pressure off the pressure cooker, honey. You know, seriously, we don't wait. Maybe it exploded. Maybe I don't know. But I think you two had a serious problem in seeing each other as people. Real people. And not just this complex, intense connection, but real people. I got bills to pay, so do you. I have responsibilities, so do you. I have real issues and problems in this life, but I also have good redeeming qualities. Let's put our redeeming qualities together. I can help you, you can help me. We're friends at the core of this, right? So even if you and I as lovers failed as lovers, cool. But in reality, can you and I be friends because we have more things in common than not? The answer is yes. And I like this a lot. I really do. Okay. Okay. 6 of Cups, 8 of Cups, 9 of Wands. Okay. So somebody here, again, is showing me tendencies to do the opposite of what was done. First, we had withdrawn, edited, non-authentic communication. I'm not saying everything was a lie. What I'm saying is that somebody here struggled with their more authentic selves. And somebody here is still kind of resisting their need to emotionally detach. It's a struggle there. Very hard to completely open up to this. Somebody has that tendency to clamp down and not fully participate, and they're trying very much to do the opposite of it. It is not easy, so do not expect overnight results if you two really want to cooperate, because you can feel the happiness in each other's proximity in some way, even as friends. This is somebody here is needing patience. But I think so long as we see realistic effort in the real world, instead of just combativeness and denial and pressure and intensity, dial it back and experience each other as human beings, take each other off the frustration intensity pedestals, if you will, and see each other as humans, it will be more cooperative. But yes, somebody's really having to fight their need to withdraw and having to fight their need to edit their thoughts and edit their feelings. I don't know why somebody here is used to hiding a lot, and I don't know why, but they're used to it. Or at least when it comes to you, or if they do this in the general sense. I don't think they mean to run away, but they do have that tendency to kind of check out as a safety measure. And I don't quite know what it is, but they have to fight that. Okay. They need patience, honey. They need patience. They're still resistant. The 6 of Cups is here. The soul bond thing is here. You two are moving at a particular pace. You've both agreed to this. You both feel good about it, but somebody still has work to do in terms of really trusting this connection. Rather, not trusting it so much as trusting themselves within it. You know what I mean? Like, it's safe for me to experience this connection with you. It's safe for me to feel my feelings in this connection with you. It is safe for me to really speak my thoughts with you. Because I'm guessing that's what half the problem of this was back here. Okay? You know? I'm kind of glad, honey, that this person wasn't truly incorporated or enfolded into your foundation and the other way around. Because that would suggest need without needs being met. And that means you could have lost your foundation in approximation to losing this person. So be glad that that wasn't the case. So I know part of you was frustrated. You really wanted them to be part of this foundation, and perhaps you convinced they were, but the fact of the matter is I'm seeing that attributed to you. That was all you. They kind of hovered around it, but they weren't fully participants in it. So let's be glad. Let's be glad that that didn't happen, okay? Because somebody here has a distinct need to withdraw and not fully contribute, and there's nothing you can do about that except to have reasonable expectations regarding the limitations of your connection. And if you call them a friend, you got to mean it. Okay, but that does not mean that you are responsible for shaping how they experience it. That's up to them. Okay? All right. Okay, so Five of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Wands. Time has passed, as we've already seen. Your confidence continues to pick up by December regarding whatever breakages there were in the past. You are feeling better at yourself and kind of accepting this is how it had to be. I'd like to see more about this fertility and or commitment concept. I can see where you two are trying to commit to work together. That makes perfect sense to me, and perhaps it is prosperous and beneficial to you both for that reason. But what I really like here is learning to trust the divine. Okay, which is, I know, easier said than done. Anything else here? I was really hoping to focus in on other things. I don't mean to be like that, but I get that there's the other again, King of Pentacles. That it's consistent. I can't do it, honey. When it's consistent, it sticks. I don't know what to tell you. King of Pentacles, they're healing too. You're healing. You're both healing from the break. Okay, so you both acknowledge it. You two will run very, despite the fact that you two are going like this, you notice the traction of the movement is still parallel. So even if they were up here and you were down here, and then you went up and they went down, okay, unrequited. The thing is, you were still running the same parallel tracks. It's no wonder you kind of felt like this person was meant to be part of your foundation. It makes sense because you're both going like this. You're just not like this. See what I'm saying? And that you two eventually are trying to figure out this. It's slow, but somebody, you know, and then they have to pull themselves back up. Oh, I can't reject the connection. I can't reject it. I can't reject it emotionally, and I can't reject it through communication. If I want to keep it, even if it's slow, I got to, nope. That kind of, you see what I'm saying? Somebody has a little extra work to do. They have a hard time allowing themselves to stay in the moment, to trust their feelings in it, to trust that their feelings are safe with you, and to trust that their thoughts are safe with you. So when I'm telling you, it's time to take the pressure off this, and really, if you're going to be friends, mean it. That's what that means. But I see them doing it to their full credit. This King of Pentacles figure who's consistently showed up. You know, that's the point. They're healing from the break just as much as you are. You've already done quite a bit of work. To be honest with you, the Five of Pentacles is like old news to you. Like I said, you gave it a lot of thought before you realized you don't know anything about it, really, and you just kind of accepted it. So you are showing me confidence by December that the breakage, you're feeling a lot better about it. And they're telling me that they're catching up to you. See what I'm saying? It's a process, and we don't have overnight results. Human beings take time. And they're saying that they are taking the time they need to recover in this break with you. That they've learned a lot too, and they have to trust themselves more, specifically what they're experiencing while they're experiencing it. It's hard for them to stay in that zone. I don't know why. But they have a tendency to reject emotional development. I don't know if they do this in all areas of their life or just with you because of the intensity. I don't know. But the idea is that you're both engaging this for a reason. You're both trying very hard for a reason. I don't know if it's to respect and honor the connection, because at the end of the day, you two are soul bonded. I don't know if it's the interest in repairs means something to you both later on in the greater scheme of things. I just know that you two are showing me a phenomenal effort. So I congratulate you both. There's been a lot of lessons here in the interim of the time off between you two. And I like how it opened up. It was very simple, very easy. Over here, that's when we started to see some complexity. Someone who is by all rights or equal in the running background without your knowledge at all, because you kind of gave up on this hope for this person or with them. It says that they got something cooking and they'd like to propose it. And there's the proposition. Okay. So I say congratulations to you both on this phenomenal level of work. Where it goes from this, I don't know, but you both seem to be very comfortable with it. In terms of it meaning something substantial to you both, but in a much more realistic 3D way. Okay? Like, my imperfections are recognizing your imperfections, but my strengths are also recognizing your strengths. In other words, our intensity of connection aside, you and I are actually really of good value to each other. You know, and that's why you're both trying. Where it leads to in the future, I don't know. I'm not going past December. I just like how you both have a settling point. So like I said, you two are actually going like this now. It might be slow. And sometimes they fall back a little bit like that. Oh, I don't want to break with Libra again. So, nope. We got to remember to communicate. Got to remember to communicate honestly. Don't withhold the feelings. Don't withhold the thoughts. Don't do that. That's a bad habit. That's an old habit. Don't do it. Don't do it. And they're doing a good job. They are. It's not easy. It's very hard. I'm assuming it could be you too. Maybe you got used to editing your thoughts and feelings around them too. If you two are really like this, there's a good chance you both switched off. One of you was very honest, the other person not so much, and then there's the other person was very honest, the other person, well, you know. You both could have been doing that. All right. What's going on, please? Yeah, a bit of luck. A bit of luck for some of you, yes. The second for some of you might be important. Venomous thoughts. Yeah, I know. Venomous thoughts, the crap we tell ourselves, is kind of like the 7 and 5 of swords combined. Venomous thoughts that work against us about prosperity, that this being viable has something. Somebody here had some very nasty venomous thoughts about the prosperity of this thing, or that there was none. That nothing will come of it, nothing will grow from it, it won't be fertile, it has no purpose. And that's probably something we told ourselves to kind of spare ourselves any further interaction from it. It makes sense for both of you. I'm sure you both had similar thoughts around that. There's the Swift Messenger home. The Swift Messenger home. The Mature Woman in reverse. Interesting. Conversations. Somebody is attached to some... I don't know what this is. I got a Mature Woman in the reverse, and that's never good. This is someone... Communication, in-depth communication is next to it. There's an influence in somebody's life, yours or theirs, where there might be a mature woman here who's in reverse. In other words, this is someone who should have capacity for deep thoughts and intellectualism, but they don't. It's kind of like saying, I don't have anyone to talk to. But also there's just someone here who represents the absence of thought, or the absence of in-depth communication, or they don't communicate. So the mature woman's in reverse. So this is someone who does not give us very good direction in terms of thinking, aptitude, energy, positive disposition. Someone who's supposed to have the wisdom of age, but you couldn't really tell talking to them. In other words, they seem to have a limited capacity for influence, positivity, and growth. So I don't know why that's coming up as such a marked thing for somebody, but it's here. Okay? Which means somebody in this connection is the absence, or the opposite of the mature woman. Possibly someone who is younger and someone who's a little bit more intellectually capable. All right, so the swift message at home, swift message at home, swift message at home. What's more of this, please? Swift message at home, adjudication, correctness of change. Okay. Changes in home. And time is a thief, time is getting away from me. It's like someone here is communicating that they're thriving and that they're vibrant and that they're well, and somebody else is looking at how time has passed and nothing's changed. It seems like someone's flourishing and the other person's not flourishing. And what can I do about it? Someone looks so bright and colorful. There's the institution here. Concerns about what's been set in place and how it doesn't feel right. Someone's inability to change and time is getting away from them. Time has been served at that particular institution. And there's a sense of despair here. Oh, a sense of despair. The more I see, the more despair I get. What is this? Public. Someone's visible. Someone's public. Someone's visible. Like a hot house. Where you grow exotic flowers and things that need a very specific environment. Someone's publicly on display, beautiful, growing, and somebody's in despair by their lack of growth or seeing someone else's. I see someone here who is thriving in home. vibrant, colorful, depth of communication, the opposite of whatever I'm seeing over here. And the more we see, the more despair we feel. So someone here is public and visible. Interesting. Huh. 29. Now here we have a full woman. A woman who's much more open and colorful, vibrant, beautiful. Watching this person brings us despair. Oh, that's not good. Key. There's a key here to success in this. Unlocking the key, unlocking the cage, the freedom to express one's truth. The rose in the cage. It's like having all these feelings locked up inside of us, and we have our own key. Of course, if we feel that we are jailed, of course we have the key. Except, of course, unless we're talking real imprisonment. No, we're talking about the metaphor. It's I'm sorry, I always have to push back on people about this. If you feel imprisoned or jailed, you are your own jailer. You have the key. I don't care what the circumstances are. You get to choose to break past it. Almost all our jails and the metaphor are self-imposed. Self-imposed thinking, self-imposed thoughts, self-imposed feelings. I can tell someone struggles a lot with honest communication regarding their thoughts and feelings. What do you think a prison is? It's the lack of an authentic self. So I choose to put a cage around me as an excuse to not have to really speak about who I am, what I think, or what I feel. That is self-imposed. I wish people would put those fucking thoughts together. 2 + 2. You know? You have as much freedom as you understand yourself to have. And speaking of prison, you could be in prison. Shawshank Redemption, Stephen King. You can be locked up for the rest of your life, but one thing will always be free. You can be authentic, your most authentic self in any situation or circumstance. It's a choice. And someone's always going to be self-imposed in a gilded cage or prison. Specifically, their feelings are going to be locked up if they choose to not exercise their own key. If this person, somebody here struggles very much with staying in the moment and not rejecting feelings even while they're developing them. It's hard for this person to feel safe emotionally. It's hard for this person to speak authentically. They're used to hiding, and I don't know why. And that's that same person who every now and again, when you two start to reestablish a pace that feels comfortable, to this full person's credit, they are trying, and as they do, they heal. But every now and again, they feel tempted to fall back, and then they have to remember to pick themselves back up again, lest they lose the connection again. So that's a choice, and it's a powerful one. I know it's easier said than done, especially if you got conditioned into hiding yourself, not really speaking your truth, afraid to develop emotional attachment for one reason or another. And it's hard. It is hard. And nevertheless, I will insist, if you're in a cage, you also have, by definition, the key. It's just your willingness to see that. If you choose to not see that you are your own jailer, you will always be imprisoned. And I hate that when this person reflects upon you, sees you, perhaps they see you in some sort of public forum, I don't know why, but they see you as being visible, or you see them, somebody here sees the other person, and it puts them into a place of misery. Oh, I wish I could free myself to say these things. You can. You don't have to wish, baby. You can do it. But the more you say I can't, the more you're going to believe it. You know. I don't know why that got my attention. Anyway, I was going to say some of you expect a gift, possibly of flowers. Tulip is the flower of the lovers, historically speaking. I know way too much shit. Why do I know all that? I can't remember dates and names and titles, but I can remember the most ridiculous connectivity points. Anyway, that's me. I would say somebody might be the representation of the lovers here. Tulip was a secret code for back in the day of lovers. It's like you and I are lovers. Here's the tulip. That was code for this is you and me. Nobody else knows, but this is you and me. It is, the marriage is in reverse. So maybe this person has a hard time trusting that connection because of previous relationships, that marriages maybe that didn't work out. You know, once the heart gets scarred like that, it's really hard to trust love again. Especially when it goes into such an intense place, you can't help but think it's going to be bad. Perhaps they've had previous relationships where there was no real love because it felt safe, but it just ended up hurting them in the end. I don't know. Anyway, caught my attention. Oh, Lordy, we gotta wrap it up. Goodness. Okay. Letters G, H, zombie, doing the same thing over and over again. Not feeling much way about it. The medallion of Virgo, I did see that over here. It could be a reference to Virgo season, like I said, that we are still in. Okay. The letter F, cat, intuition, 2 G's. That's funny. GGH. Ha. And the letter F. Okay, big star, the hopes, dreams, wishes, wants, desires. I saw that under your moon and one that you gave up on, and that's the last you understood of it. Okay. So what you don't know is the running background moon of the other person, which will be coming forward, it looks like, soon. The anchor, are we stuck here? Emotional development, being able to stick into one's emotions and stay there, or to uplift the anchor, move into something else in terms of being able to land there and stick to it, okay? Or are we stuck? Something like that. The crown. Someone here wears the crown of importance. The Emperor, Empress energy. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus as well. Oh, and of course the Eiffel Tower. The height of realistic romanticism. So it represents the idealism of love and romance, but based in reality. So in other words, it's achievable. Anything's achievable if you're willing to scale those particular heights. That's enough. Libra, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments as you see fit. Fall is going to be terribly interesting. I didn't see anything else for you today, which personally frustrates me. I would have liked to see more about home and money and coin. That's why I like the overviews, is that hopefully we can get it. But this was very concentrated. I understand that it can be frustrating. But hopefully, regardless, it helped you in some way. Okay? You let me know. Take care. Be well.